Hip Hop Station. It's Hot 107.9. Your Dirty J Nix Flies Guy on the radio.
DJ Cash, the fly Haitian kid. I'm in the building.
You know what I'm saying? But check it out, man. You know how we always popping. We got the famous folks in the building. This is a brother from another. You know what I'm saying? Been rocking with us for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Trouble's in the building.
Factual. Trouble, babe.
What up, though, man?
School. What do you do, my brother?
Man, look. So you got to tell me. This one biggest question I got.
Yeah.
When the hell you get with Def Jam, bro? I seen an Interscope rep.
And
then he got fired.
Yeah.
And then I see Ryan calling me about Trouble. I'm like, Trouble not with y'all. He's like, yes, he is.
Yeah, fact.
So what's going on, man? When was that switch up?
That one of the moves in the cut.
Man,
real
what?
quick. But yo, I'm liking it. I'm loving it, man. It was it actually probably ain't been them no more than a month for real, Nick. So them folks just end up reaching out. Them and I ain't gonna say no name, but another label. They just reached out and like, man, we know what the potential is. We know what you can do for real. Like we just see something else versus from what them folk producing, man. So like. So they just came with all different situations, like what's happening, woo. So I went and sat down with them in New York, and it was I just had a complete vibe with them folks, and they were ready to push the issue, like push the button from what I originally looked at like labels should be for anyway, like, cause you know you're gonna do your own groundwork and all that anyway. But once you get with them labels, like, man, we just need y'all machine to get it rolling, like, you know what I'm saying, and put it out there. So and like that one was going on for my first situation, you know what I'm saying. So it was like, man, bet. So when I sat down with them folks like the next week, I was like, man, let's lock it on down.
So was this after Edgewood?
Nah, they were actually like literally like a month ago.
Okay.
Literally
so
like a month ago. Yeah, they fresh. Yeah, me and Mike Will.
So what happened to the whole Interscope situation? They just couldn't figure it out, and they ended up letting you go? Because I thought you was initially with Interscope.
I'm still cool with a couple of them folks over there or whatever, like the relationship boo, but it was just like more so I just feel like certain folks were sitting on their hand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like we ain't had no conflicts as far as like when we'll chop it up and have conversations or none of that, but it was like when it came down to push the issue, like issue just wasn't being pushed. That's why I put out one project last year, you feel me?
Right.
And for me to have so much music, like I got over 500 songs in one file, in one folder of files, and I got like 6 files.
Right.
You feel me? And it was like, man, it wasn't going like how I needed it to be. So and then me and Mike sat down and chopped it up, and he felt in the same manner. So he was like, man, whoa, what you wanna do, you feel me?
Right.
So what's the plan with Def Jam now that you feel
these
like
folk running the gun, right, man. I said them folk like, when you want to put the album out, when you want to put the tape out, you feel me? Like, soon as we send out, like, what you need to do, what the budget is, what you need. I like that, like, this was popping, this what I needed to hear, you feel me? So I was like, at the same time, I told them when we sat down, I was like, man, I ain't one of them dudes that ever be chasing the light or none of that. So I was like, I ain't just trying to force nothing out there. Like, I got a few songs, I was like, I got a few songs that I feel like gonna be smashing. Let's put a single out here first. Let this crank up in the street, like let them folk jump on it, let these folk feel like, let these folk know that I'm coming back at them. You know what I'm saying? Then either come back with another single out there or then just give them the album before the second single. So they just with whatever I'm with, and like they just been pushing the issue ever since I locked in with them.
Right. I seen a big change when you kind of like, I feel like you took M&B into your own hands and really just from your social media, your content on social media, your team that you put together. So I really see a big difference from you just figuring out, like, you know what, let me build my own team. Right. Well, because you pretty much run y'all stuff like a real label, like your own label.
It was like for me, it was just like, man, like I had been doing everything on my own for the longest, like beyond folks knowing, you know what I'm saying, like outside looking in, you know, folks just come up with whatever in their mind, what they feel like going on. But like it was like, man, it was just so much pressure on my shoulder, dog. It was no help from now angle, you know what I mean? Right. And like for me, it was like I had not been putting too many folks before myself. Right. And I was just worried about everybody else's struggles or their problems or supporting everybody else versus from what I was even doing for Trouble, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, the moment I just started minding my business for real, and my brodies who I felt like were pushing me in the angles that I needed to be at or what I needed to be on, that's when everything started changing for me. So that when I started being like, oh man, like I actually came up with like M&B in like 2014. Wow. But it was like for the last couple of years, 2-3 years type motion, it was like, man, it's just been on a whole different level since I just been focused on that. So it was like, I was like, man, I'm just sticking to the script, bro, and just minding my business.
I definitely salute you on that. So what would you tell some of the young cats out here that's kind of confused about just taking your matters in your own hands? Because I think that so many artists, especially in Atlanta, like they sit and wait for somebody else to do something for them and then expect so much.
Fact, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like everybody got to go through it, though. Like, you gonna have them type of moment. Like I tell the homie, bro, ain't no success without no story. So you got to have like certain ups and downs that you got to go through within the game. But at the same time, you just got to always know, like, hey, man, it ain't going to happen if you ain't trying to make it. Like, if you ain't pushing your issue, then ain't nothing to come to you. Like, you can sit up on a tree all day. You can have all the greatest ideas in the world. But if you ain't expressing them to nobody or having different conversation or brushing shoulders or building your own relationships, then ain't nothing gonna come to fruition. You feel me?
Right. So look, if you're just not tuning in, man, Trouble's in the building. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about his new single, talking about M&B, talking about the new Def Jam situation. You know what I'm talking about? So what's next for Trouble? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this record was kind of she a winner.
Fact.
Came a curveball.
Right
you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
You went back for the little Scooby snacks.
I really just came for him for real, Nick. Like, if you think about it, man, I ain't really ever had too many records like the world. I just targeted the snack like that, like, and just got it.
I think the one last time you did a girl record was the one me and you did. Instead of Keisha. You know
Keisha done true enough. But like as a whole, like since you gotta think about it, like I've been on like 9 years now, so I've been doing music for 9 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like for you to only be able to count like a handful of songs that I got for girl, like that's shell. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the snack man.
Right.
You feel me? Yeah, bro, like I got all the snack available, but I ain't got nothing for them. You know what I mean? I just been sticking. I was always staying true to the streets and the struggle. I always want to be like the voice for the folks who still going through it and just trying to come up.
Right.
Versus cause everybody just always be talking about the bag and all the successful story, but it's like, man, it's folks who's just still out here and just still trying to figure it out. So that's why I always been incorporating that into my music more so than anything than just to shine.
It's been going up on the gram too, but I've been seeing a lot of girls like rocking with it, but I've been seeing a lot of girls hating on the girls that's rocking with it.
I just feel like them the ones who ain't got them socks. Right. They don't know what they doing. They don't know how to blow them socks off, bro. You feel?
Right.
Instead of hating like they should, just be looking at them folks and then like learning how to plead they do. You know what I'm saying? That's why so many on single and so miserable, like, cause they just so ready to bash and post salt on everything versus from looking at it and seeing what they can gain from it.
So what made you trying to embrace it? Like, what first video was you like, we gonna make a shit winner challenge to that? Because girls been doing the cucumber thing. You know what I'm saying?
It probably was like the third one where I actually ended up being like, all right, let's just make it a real challenge. Because the first girl went up, man, she just went so crazy with it. I think that when Up Boy came in, shouts out to Lil Silver. Lil Silver, like, she hit my line like, this girl trying to show out on me. I'm thinking she talking about something in the street. I'm like, what popping now? She talking about, so now I just seen that little skinny little girl on your page. She think she going up. I got that J head. Yeah, I said, man, you crazy. So before you know it, I go back to my ground and she was going up in the car. You feel me? Like, so after that, when the other little snack came back with 2 cucumbers, like, okay, y'all think y'all going up? And I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Right.
I ain't talked to none of these folks like, hey, I want y'all to put the song in the back. I hadn't talked to now.
I'm going to keep it real, though. Until Akbar V did that, I wasn't thinking about no big girl, though.
Hey,
now big girl might have a shot, boy.
True story, bro, on Lord himself, Nick. You hear me? On Lord himself, bro. So many other homies. Like, I always be forever like, man, that just ain't my vibe. I know everybody got their own taste with it, but I ain't rocking with no big ones. Soon as Akbar did that, man, 12 of the homies hit my line like, hey, yo, what's up with Akbar? Like, who she rocking with? Like, she rocking with anybody right now?
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now,
I want them boots.
I seen that video. I sent her a DM like, hey, big head.
Hey, man, See, that was them snap who were hating. That what they should have been locked in on.
So what's next, man? You came on in with the money. So when the challenge over with? Like,
I'm gonna give him like 3 weeks for real. Cause I don't actually, like, you know, I be sitting back playing strategize. Right. So like within a few weeks, like I'm planning on making something big, like versus from just putting it out there on the gram and being like, all right, this the winner, and then send her the money. Like I might make it something like real intimate that folk can really be at and see tight and be a part of. Right. Like for the lookers and all the homies and the hungry
I need
girls
my
and all
invite.
that.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, could do it live.
You feel me? Something like that. So I'm gonna put something like that together. I'm gonna give them like 3 weeks. I'm gonna get back to putting up the visual too though. Like it was just been so much going on like with the shows and all that. So I've been putting that up, but I'm gonna get back to posting them up too because it's a stash on like one on like. I don't know how she did that. I think it went down her stomach, man. Like pulled it back up. Like shit, they crazy.
Yeah, so look, so this record, man. What was the process of making this record? Because like you said before, like you don't usually do the girl records. You know what I'm saying? It's a classic beat. You know what I'm saying? So what made you decide to do that? Like,
but I just wanted to jump out my box for a minute. Like me and Hit sat down and chopped it for a minute because he actually seen the same thing and what I was saying for myself. He was like, bro, you gotta like. He was like, all the girls love you for real, bro. He was like, and then I don't been around you to like. Kind of see why, like you just kick it the real way. You ain't never talking about no dudes and none of that. You ain't just always talking about no money and that. Like you just kick it real strong on stuff like that. Right. You feel me? He was like, but you ain't never did nothing for him. Like, you feel me? So I was like, man, I was just saying that to myself. You feel me? I was like, so as we going through some record, like let's just kick it into an up tempo vibe instead of all the God where you be looking for story mode type beat. You feel me? On a low tempo. So as we got to going through the record, I actually ended up doing like we did like 4-5 records that night, all on smashing. But once we got to that record, it was like, it took me like 15 minutes. I went straight in there like I ain't wrote nothing on no nothing or nothing. We had the Mean Street studio. I go straight in the booth and just went AWOL. But when I came out, I was like, he was like, what one you want to put out? Like, what we going to put out a single? Woo. He tried to go with another one for an hour. I did him. I just got to think about the whole club. I'm like, man, it's a lot of aggressive songs. Like, besides all the swag songs and all that's out right now, like, a lot of songs is aggressive, like the way it make you got kind of angry, like in the club, like, you know what I mean? You more so ready to pop it off versus just having fun. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this one of them record the way to get folk back to twerking.
I hear Girl on the remix though. Who would you put if you had your choice?
We got City Girls on there.
Yeah, I got yeah. I actually get what. I ain't gonna put his name out there, but I actually had a dude on the first popping. He big time too, you feel me? And he went crazy. But after we did it, the original one, I was like, me and Ted sat down. Ted was like, what you think about putting a girl on here? That way it can be like, cause you the voice of the street. But then the girls can have a side too, somebody talking for them. I was like, that's hard. So Ted came up with that idea. He was like, well, you got to like QC, like my distant family, feel me? He like, call that boy P, see what's going on, man. I called P. P heard the record okay. He was like, man, it's gone. He said, let me see. I was like, see what little sister talking about. Whoa. He sent it to her. She hit back like, man, I'm finna do this tonight. She did the song the same as that night.
Wow.
Sent it back that morning. When we heard it, I was like, yeah, go time. So I'ma still keep the homie verse who did the original verse. I'm still keep his on there. Right. And then I'm thinking about like probably putting two more girls.
City Girls on fire. Like, and we was talking about this earlier. There's a lot of girls that's on fire. Yeah. And then some people seem to think that like all the girls right now are talking about the same thing. What do you think about that? Like some people feel like the girls are just, all the girls sound the same.
Stripper rappers.
I mean, for me, it's like, if that's your story, that's your story though.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you came from, you supposed to speak on what you on experience, you know what I mean? So like, if you just came from that, like you were dancing, at the end of the day, I salute them folk, man. Like for you to even like be confident within yourself to be like, all right, I'm finna start rapping now, and everybody just know you from dancing. You know how much backlash gonna come from that? Like, oh man, they just been popping it all day. Ooh, think we finna listen to her rap, and then actually end up making it up out of that. Man, I salute that type of hustle. You feel me? Like, but at the end of the day, that's their story, and you supposed to speak on what it is. And if they were trapping or they came from a good home or this type of motion, and then they come in and ain't speaking on that, then that'll be different. Right. But them folks ain't come from that. It's like if that's all they knew at that time, you can't really hate or bash them folks for better than themselves in that situation and then speaking on it. That's their life.
Right. Check it out, man. If you just now tuning in, man, Trouble's in the building. And look, so what's next? So this girl record's out. So is this a new direction of Trouble? Like are you about to experiment a bit more?
I ain't straying away. Like I'm gonna stick to the school. Like it's thug life on my end. So I'm talking for the streets all day. I'm talking for all my little homies who still in the field right now and got all them years from one dude folding on them. So I'm still talking about all them stories, free youngster, free paper, free rich, free murder. One of my other little dog, he just caught 15 years 3 days ago. And he just did 10 years, dog. You feel me? And like, and that was really just from being there. You know what I mean? And like one of the other homies, he couldn't even free him up and he tried. But it was like, so I'm still giving my ghetto gospel, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm speaking like I got a couple party records on there. I got stuff for the streets. I got stuff for the struggle. I got stuff for like I got music for just for like real deal relationships and folks like who wanna in a happy zone. You know what I mean? Like it's all the way around the board.
Yeah. I was at the studio with Mike Will the other day actually, and he was letting me hear some of your records, and it was records that I would have never thought to hear Trouble on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I heard them, it sounds so natural and sounds so. So was that like was that an intentional thing? Like let me show my range?
No, not at all. It's just like. Bro, I had to step out my box. Like, cause from even myself, bro, like, I remember early in the day, like, I might have been undid some of these same type record, gang. But I would worry about what the perception might be. From folks after I put it out, like, you know how they might be like, man, I don't want these folks, you know, thinking like I'm soft on that, you feel me? And then I end up having to break a lot of more boxes. Cause I'm already known for going to do box. Okay, like, yeah, Shouter gonna fight it out, you feel me? But at the same time, it was like, man, I don't want put these songs out and then everywhere I end up going, somebody end up thinking I'm something to play with, and then I have to put myself back in these situations because we're going to go there. So I used to think about that early in my career, but it's like since I've been at lately, it's like, man, I don't even care, dog. Like, I am who I am at the end of the day. For whoever know already, then all right, cool. Or who don't, then I just have to show you that. You feel me? But it's like, man, let me do my music, whatever I feel truly about and whatever I'm going to do, then I'm going to do it and then I'm going to put it on out here.
I feel like the song that shattered all those boxes for you was the one with The Weeknd. I feel like when you did that song, it was like You know
come through.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was kind of
of
like, nah, he got range, and it wasn't like, oh, he turned soft.
Yeah,
it was like, nah, it made sense. It stayed true to who you were, and it relayed the message. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that,
but see, just personally knowing you for a long time, I think like outside looking in, I wouldn't say you act different around family, but it's like your perception of somebody that might not know trouble will be totally different. So for you to do girl records, it ain't too far-fetched because I know how, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
I've been to the studios, I've been to the parties, you know what I'm saying, the homie parties, the goddamn pool parties and stuff like that. So it ain't so really too much shocking to know that, you know what I'm saying,
he got all the Snackavellis.
Maybe going. So it's like, why not do it? You know what I'm saying?
I just ain't want to, early in my time, I just didn't want to get stuck into that point where it's like, that's all they expected from your song. You know what I'm saying? So like, 'cause I know at the end of the day, like, ain't too many rappers on there that really speak for the turf for folk who having real situations and really going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my dog, me and nephew talking the other day, 'cause a couple of their homies ended up getting killed or whatever. And all he usually ever listen to is like swag rap and all the drip music. You feel me? Everything that just talking about clothes. So I come through the studio. We go through Schoolhouse Studio one day, and he and playing some Boosie song and some the song I got the Hold On song.
Right.
I'm like, you on my vibe. I'm like, what you on this? But he was going through it at the moment. I was like, you can't listen to all that swag right now. Like, now, cause it don't relate for what he actually going through at the moment. You know what I mean? So like for me, I always know like, man, we still gotta have somebody that gonna speak for the struggle though. Everybody just can't be talking about the money and the fun. You know what I mean? So that was always my thing.
Well, man, I definitely got to salute you. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like not just being your homeboy for these many years, I just feel like you do everything. You know what I'm saying? And I say continue to do it. Fuck what everybody got to say. You know what I'm saying? Get the bag at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to get a plaque, okay?
For sure. I'll tell you, know it coming your way. It go time now, my brother. You hear me? We don't put the work in, man. It's been a long time coming, man. You hear me? And now we here now, so it's time to extra turn it, my brother. I ain't even finna let up nothing about no name.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
I got my boots on them. They tied all the way to the top. I put some extra holes in there. You hear me? I get them a little more tighter. Start the gag. I ain't time to go up.
Well, dog, I can't wait to see you on the big stage and all that good stuff, man. So definitely super salute to you, big dog.
Lord willing, my brother. I appreciate you,
man. Trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Durtty Boyz, Hot 179.